Hello and welcome back. Security software companies are constantly challenged by the evolving nature of threats posed across various online platforms. So, what are the main hotspots of concern, and are the Middle East companies sufficiently geared to handle these threats? To discuss this, we're joined today by Bulent Teksoz, Regional Technology Manager at Symantec. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here.
So tell us about the threats posed by cookies.
Well, tracking cookies. These are our footsteps that we leave behind when we browse the internet. So these are just the little text bars on our computers that track information as to what searches that we have done, what sites that we've been to, and what kind of purchase that we have made online. So they have pros and cons. On the pros side, they tell the web pages about ourselves, our preferences. When we go to that online shopping site of ours, you're presented with information that you would like, with the purchase that you would like before when you type information. But on the flip side, the privacy issues. They tell people about the site that you've been to, your bank information, your credit card information, and that could be dangerous in the wrong hands.
So where do most attacks originate from in the Middle East? With this type of information, do you think it might help combat the problem?
Well, according to our data and analysis, in the Middle East, there are top 3 countries in terms of cyber attacks. And one of them is the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. And we always say that this is mainly due to the fact that there's a tremendous growth in these countries. And the bandwidth is large. The foundation is actually being worked on, being developed at all times. And also our analysis states these countries become the launchpad for attacks worldwide.
Now, there are concerns that hacking originating from China continues to grow. How serious is the problem?
Well, we can't deny that, but I think we need to focus on our enemy within, if you will, because we know the statistics. We in the Middle East is emerging and moving up in terms of cyber criminal activity. So before all the countries, and we also seen that traditional countries like China and the United States, United Kingdom, they actually dropped in terms of cyber criminal activity because we see the shift is towards the emerging countries like Middle East. I think we should focus more about the Middle East and than worldwide.
Now, banks in the UAE have faced a certain amount of criticism in previous years for not having sufficient security systems. I mean, what sort of update is there today from that?
I think our data again shows us that the top attacked sector in the world is the financial sector. Because we know one thing for sure, the cyber criminals are after financial gains and they attack financial institutions such as banks. And we have seen, especially in the Middle East, a lot of banks have been attacked with phishing attacks, credit card frauds, online fraud. And we work with many banks in the UAE and the Middle East actually. So we have seen a tremendous growth from their side. They're implementing their security.
What sort of measures have they put in place? Has there been quite an advancement since these sort of recent fraud issues?
Yes, actually it is, yes. I mean, in the security field, every month there's something new. Let it be data loss prevention or let it be the public certificates and everything has been actually renewed. And the banks are doing their best to, as far as we can see, work with them, doing their best to make sure that confidential information stays confidential.
Now, do you think that company investments are enough in the IT security sector in the Middle East? Is that enough?
Well, again, we have seen with the decline of the traditional economy, especially in the Middle East, a lot of projects have been canceled due to budget cuts and the resource cut. But we also seen if there was only one project to be approved by the board, that happened to be a security project. So there is actually a big focus on the security right now. And it is also dependent on the risk appetite for the company. If it's a military organization or the bank or a big government or a multinational corporation, and they have to take care of security, and they know this, and that's why security projects get higher priorities.
Now, there's a growing threat from social networking sites. How can consumers guard against this?
I think it all starts with ourselves. We have to take responsibility for protecting our own data. We tend to share a lot, especially on these social networking sites. People share a lot because they like to communicate with their friends. But when we share a lot, we have to take into account it's not only our friends. We might be sharing this information to a big whole wild world. And we know in this world there are lots of cyber criminals who will love to get their hands on these confidential information. I think, again, it starts with ourselves. Share as little as we can, and that is the underlying principle.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming on today. It's been a pleasure chatting to you about the IT sector. Excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, that's it for this edition of Inside Business. You can contact us by writing to ib@city7tv.com. You can also view our previous shows online at YouTube. Just search for Inside Business 01. But for now, from all of us on the business desk, goodbye and thanks for watching.